Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Our guest today is my good friend, Bart Brands. Bart is a precious metals specialist at Gold Republic and a certified security intelligence professional. Bart, how are you?
I'm doing great, Ivan. Thanks for having me again. It's been such an amazing time in precious metals. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. The excitement. A lot of people have been saying, they're surprised that gold and silver is holding up this much, and they're surprised that it's not being pushed down more. So much excitement. I wanted to talk to you about everything that's happening in the market, but let's start off there. Why do you think every time gold and silver is getting knocked down, it's getting right back up there? What's happening?
It's being bought up because every correction is now being bought up because I think a lot of people, investors, but also central banks, like we discussed the last time, are showing you what they are doing, and a lot of people don't believe what they are saying. And
Right.
and just to say, because of course in the States and in North America, Canada, and also the rest of the world, gold is hitting all-time highs, but also in measured in the euro, we've just seen a new all-time high, which is maybe the 25th or 26th all-time high this year, and it is now 82,500 euros for a kilogram of gold, which
Wow.
is, and I remember the last time we spoke, I think it was around 78.
Right.
So
Yeah, it was
it,
78.
yes, so it is just flying higher, and also measured in euros, a kilogram of silver is now past 1,000. So the last time we spoke, I think it was hovering somewhere in the 900s, but
Right.
it is now more than 1,000 euros for a kilogram of silver, which is just amazing to see. And it is also amazing to see that people keep buying even when slight dips occur. It is just a chance for everybody to step in if they haven't bought any, or speculators or smart investors, I would say,
Right.
that see every dip as a possibility to expand their position.
Now, it's not only is it an exciting time for silver and gold, but, so many people are talking about the US dollar and how, as they're going to reduce rates, you're going to see a big hit in the US dollar. Geopolitical issues around the world is doing nothing but drive, gold and silver to, all new time highs. Let's say, Bart, in the next 5 years, where you start seeing the US dollar devalued even more than where it is now. What's the heights for gold? Can we reach 3,500 an ounce, 4,000? What's the possibility from now for the next 5 years?
Yeah, that's it.
There's about $15 trillion worth of physical gold in the world sitting there costing money rather than being used. It's just absolutely insane. Monetary Metals is bringing gold back into the financial world, putting gold to productive use right now. The problem with gold, of course, in physical form is that it's heavy, it's cumbersome, it's not particularly easy to ship, and it costs money to store in a protected manner. This platform Monetary Metals created is a proven concept and allows gold to be put to productive use. So instead of sitting there costing you money, it's actually in use earning you money.
Learn how you can earn 2 to 5% in our leasing program and how accredited investors can earn up to 12% on silver paid in silver. This advertisement is not investment or financial advice. Minimum investment applies.
That's actually a great question, because I always look at what's your potential upside versus what's your potential downside, right? So if you, let's say you haven't invested in gold or silver yet, and you look at a position and you think, well, 82,500 euros for 1 kilogram of gold, that's a lot. Or
Right.
1,000 euros for a kilogram of silver, that's also a lot. So what's your potential downside? There might be a correction. Corrections are natural. Sometimes they're even needed. And even though we see that every dip is being bought up, there might be a correction of, let's say, 10, 15, 20%. Let's take an extreme, really extreme number. Let's say it corrects down 30%.
Right.
So if you buy a kilogram of silver now, and it might go down to, let's say, 700 euros for a kilogram of silver. And then compare that to what your potential upside is. Well, your potential upside is infinite,
Right.
infinite, because measured in euros or in dollars, doesn't really matter. If we look at, for example, the this European Central Bank and what their policies are, and as we what we spoke on recently, what the situation in France, and how the euro really is a currency that cannot hold up. It will fail,
Right.
and then your euros will become worthless. So they will be worth nothing. Nothing. I always say every currency goes back to its intrinsic value of zero. And then your potential upside for silver, and of course also for gold, is infinite. So I would always say, if you haven't invested in gold or silver yet, look at your potential upside, look at your potential downside. And I would say that infinite potential upside is much more valuable than the potential downside of, let's say, in a very extreme scenario of 25-30%.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you value like a lot of people are saying, oh, we shouldn't be valuing gold and silver in the US dollar because just because of and so many things. People say manipulation, so many things happening in stock markets or to keep the levels not lower than where they're supposed to be. How should we look at gold and silver? Should we actually look at them as US dollars, or how should we look at them?
Well, you might look at them as themselves.
Right.
So it is a
Yeah.
kind of it's a very normal concept, right? Looking at gold as gold, as what it is, the king of money and the money of kings.
Right.
And so we used to measure gold in grams or in ounces, and we would denominate the value of gold and silver as in a weight. And so I would always say, if you have if you take a gold, which should be the standard, and
Right.
then you correlate it to a dollar value or a euro value, then you are actually measuring taking the wrong currency or the wrong thing to measure gold against. So you should measure everything against gold and not the other way around.
Right.
So I would always say, see gold for what it is.
Right.
The intrinsic value, same for silver, and try to take those two precious metals and see if you can create a community around, for example, buying and selling with gold and silver, as we have done for thousands of years. So
Yeah.
that's always the perspective of gold and silver. They give such a beautiful perspective. And if you look into the history of gold and silver, then you know that they are leading, and every currency that has come and gone along those thousands of years, they are just to be measured against gold and
Right.
silver, not the other way around.
Did you see also in South America there was some shops, I think it was in Venezuela this past year, where they were selling groceries in like gold grams?
It is nothing new.
Right.
And as I told before, I try to use gold and silver as experimental money, and I go to my local well-known, so I know what the business owners that I trust,
Right.
and I
They're
will
not filling
ask
the
them.
bars with they're not filling the bars with lead.
Well, I'm actually the one providing the gold and silver.
Oh,
So I
really?
take my own gold and silver. I go to business owners that I know and trust, because, of course, it is an experiment that you only do with people that you know and trust.
Right.
And I will ask them, can you provide your service or product to me in exchange for gold and silver? And then, of course, we look up the value of gold and silver measured in euros or in dollars, and then they will provide me a service or product, and then I will pay them in, for example, gold or silver.
Right.
I think that is something that everyone within their community should try to start with, because the 5 years that you spoke about, I think, for example, for euros, Well, we spoke about the last ace up the sleeves of central bankers in Europe. They can introduce the central bank digital currency. I know a lot of people that will never accept that.
Right,
So
because
they
that's
are
their only play is to come out like if the euro collapses, let's say in the next year, and you start seeing like the only play the central banks have is the central bank digital currency. But do you think people would go revert back to bartering if the euro does collapse?
Well, I would actually think that people will go back not to bartering, but using money.
Right,
So,
right.
so
Yeah,
I don't think using silver or gold as money is a form of bartering. I think it is using money. I think that using paper promises of people that you know and experience are not trustworthy.
right,
That using real money to buy and sell is actually a pure form of not only trying to maintain your standards of living or letting markets do what they do, but it is also a form of rebellion, but a very pure form of rebellion. So I know
right.
a lot of people that will never accept further financial repression in the form of a central bank digital currency, and they are using these experiments to see if they can create a local community and buy and sell in real money as in gold and silver. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think a
Yeah,
lot of
you
people are going to do that.
yeah, you absolutely nailed it, Bart. Where can people connect with you? I'm going to put all your links in the description below, but where can people connect with you?
They can go to the YouTube channel of Gold Republic. They can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm pretty active on Twitter. Of
Nice.
course, it's some of it is in Dutch, but I try to post a lot of English stuff as well.
Right.
The YouTube channel of Gold Republic, we're trying to create more and more English spoken content there as well. So if
Nice.
people want to follow me, they can do it there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put the links to Gold Republic as well in the links below and the Instagram. But yeah, thank you so much, Bart, for coming down to Wall Street Silver. Every time you come down, it's such a breath of fresh air. But yeah, as the market develops, and especially with everything happening in gold and silver, I'd love to have you back on.
Sure, I'd be happy to come back again, and I really want to thank you for what you're doing, and of course the Wall Street Silver subreddit. I've been following it for years now,
Oh
and I
yeah, wow.
love what you guys are doing. It's such an amazing form of also you could say a form of rebellion against
Right.
what central bankers, but small amount of people are doing
Yeah.
and with the hundreds of thousands of people that are really interested in having physical investing in gold and silver, I really think with these types of initiatives we are going to uh, change the world.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you 100%. Again, Bart, such a huge pleasure having you come down to Wall Street Silver. Would love to have you back on in the next week or two, because I'm confident that there's going to be some pretty interesting moves coming up here soon.
With the election coming up,
Right.
it's going to be fire.
Yeah,
It's
it's going to
going to
be
be
crazy.
fire. So
Awesome.
I'll be
Okay.
back soon.
Oh, I know you will be. Again, everyone for watching, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and follow Bart below for his links in the below. I'll put it all in the description. But yeah, thank you so much, Bart.
Thank you.